Hi all, on this video let's try to understand what an acceptance criteria is. This is one of the most important aspects of the agile development process and is one of the top 10 questions on the Scrum Master interviews. Let's see what it is. So why do we need this acceptance criteria at all? Team gets the requirement, details are documented in a tool and team works against it. Then why do we need this at all? Well, different people see a problem or a requirement in different angles, which is the human tendency. So it's important there is one solution, a single solution against which we can validate the development which is done. Hence, we would need the acceptance criteria. It is basically providing the boundaries for the development team in case of ambiguous, complex or vast requirements. It serves as the basis for the testing team. It helps the planning and estimation process by horizontal slicing. Now let's see who should write this acceptance criteria on the stories. It's the product owner who defines the acceptance criteria, but it is the entire team's responsibility to share their views about the story and update if needed and get an approval on the AC while doing the refinement and during the planning process. It is overall a team's collective input with the product owner's approval. Well, this is truly my own opinion or experience which had actually worked well. So I don't think it should be alone a product owner's responsibility or an accountability. It should lie with the team. Also, as the picture shows, acceptance criteria is specific to the user story. There could be more than one acceptance criteria for a story. Together, when the acceptance criteria on all the stories is met, we can say the feature or the epic is done. Let's see how the typical acceptance criteria looks like. So broadly there are two ways of writing. The first format being it follows the GWT format, which is given a precondition, when I perform a particular action, then the following response is expected. Writing the acceptance criteria is not only important, but it's crucial for the developers and the QA and the product teams to understand all the user journeys, not to miss out on the corner cases and writing exhaustive test cases. So in this example here, as a user, I want to be able to recover the password to my account so that I'll be able to access my account in case I forget the password. Now let's see how we can write this particular acceptance criteria in the GWT format. It's pretty simply saying this user story is about the forget password scenario. So for this, given the user navigates to the login page when the user selects the forgot password option and he or she enters a valid email to receive a link for password recovery, then the system sends the link to the entered email. Given the user receives the link via the email, when the user navigates through the link received in the email, then the system enables the user to set a new password. Here there are a few preconditions which have to be met, like login page works, receiving link on the email, and then there are a few actions like clicking the forgot password link, entering the email ID, navigating through the link to the email, and then a few expected results like receiving the link on the email, allow user to reset the password, and then validating by entering the new password on the login page. So based on this particular acceptance criteria, the QA can write at least 10 to 15 test cases, and the developer, as part of following this user journey, has to start the development process and see what tasks would be needed. So the product owner gives a go or a no-go based on the acceptance criteria written, developed and demoed. Any deviation will lead to failing the user story or realizing a new or a missed case as part of the review process. Now, another way of writing the acceptance criteria is based on the rules. In certain cases, we might not be able to picturize the scenario in the GWT format. In those cases, a checklist or rules-based acceptance criteria will help. Here, we define the list of conditions in which we pass or fail the story. Let's take an example. The user story is, as a user, I want to use a search field to type a city, name or street so that I could find matching hotel options. Now let's see how we can write the checklist. The search field is placed on the top of the bar. Search starts once the user clicks search. The field contains a placeholder with a grey colored text. Where are you going? The placeholder disappears once the user starts typing. Search is performed if a user types in a city, hotel name, street or all combined. Search is in English, French, German and some other language. The user can't type more than 200 symbols. The search doesn't support special characters. If the user has typed a special symbol, show the warning message. Search input cannot contain special symbols and show the results accordingly. So the rules-oriented form entails that there is a set of rules that describe the behavior of a system. Based on these rules, you can draw specific scenarios. Now there are a few points which should be kept in mind when we work on the acceptance criteria. Like, it's always important that we document and get the acceptance criteria reviewed by the product owner, and it should convey the intent and not the solution of the story. We do not really mention the technical details as part of the acceptance criteria, and most importantly, every condition should be testable. I hope the content was easy to understand. Thanks for watching.